Royal Risings Empire. It is Monday morning. Monday morning. And there's a snowstorm coming, so I'm getting ready for it. You never know in Michigan when they say you're going to have severe weather. You never know how severe it's going to be. Now, they could say we're only going to get 1 to 3 inches, but if you drive, you have to work, 1 to 3 inches can be deadly on the roads. But in my yard, because of the way it is, and it's supposed to be heavy winds, that 1 to 3 inches can turn into 2 feet in my driveway and on my ramps. And so when we have weather like that, we have to like really prepare because we really can't get out. The princess can't get out. I could probably get out, but she can't get out. So I hope you all are preparing and gonna stay warm. It's freaking 3 degrees here. It's winter in Michigan. You gotta love it. I don't know. Can I listen to Cardi B? It's early morning. This is my time in the morning, and I'm just sharing it with y'all. And so, yeah, I'm getting ready for my birthday. I'm going to see Cardi B. But before that, I only celebrate birthdays. So I celebrate the whole month of March. So first month of March, I'll be in Vegas with family, partying with family. And the second week, I haven't decided. But the third week the second week I'm with Cardi B. Third week is my birthday. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something. So I'm letting them do what they do. And the final week of March is actually my brother's birthday, my late brother Thomas's birthday. So we will probably do something for him as a family. I'm like developing this, the older you get, the more people you lose. And I'm developing this love for my ancestors because, I got people I know and I love as ancestors now. And for those of you who think that's demonic, that's okay. I don't give two craps about what you think. I honor my ancestors. I do pray to my ancestors at times. And they help me. I can give you specific examples. They help me. And if you're praying to Jesus, he's an ancestor, supposedly. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? It is the beginning of the year. A whole new, fresh perspective should be unveiling over you. What do you plan to do this year? How do you plan to walk this year out? Because I plan to walk this year out selfish and unbothered by anything and anybody. I'm on a mission this year to get to know me. And to get to know me, my family. So I'm going to be traveling this year to wherever my family is, even if I can only spend a couple of days. I'm going to be everywhere. California, Vegas, Houston, Atlanta, Florida. I'm coming. And Ohio. I got family, most of them in Ohio. So I'm coming this year. I already got tickets for a few of them already. That's part of me building me because I literally grew up. My mother and father, when they split, my dad went to Ohio, got remarried and went to Ohio. Cleveland, and my mom came to stay with my grandma and my great grandma here in Mount Clemens, Michigan. So we so I grew up in Mount Clemens, Michigan, away, and my dad was not actually. I don't even remember seeing my dad until I was probably 10. I know that we once went when I was like 4, 5, or 6 to Cleveland to see my godmother because my mom's best friend had also moved to Cleveland, and we visited with him. And honestly, I don't remember my dad in that visit. I remember my uncle JT in that visit. That would have been, I believe, my dad's oldest brother, or one of his oldest brothers, because he was the youngest, and there's a lot of them. um, and my uncle JT is the one who grabbed me, sat me on his lap, and he was like fatherly towards me. I don't even remember my dad in that whole visit. I remember my Aunt Nola, and I remember my Uncle JT. And the first time I seen my father, where I remember him visiting, was when I was 10 years old. And him and one of his girlfriends came to visit us. Look, my dad's a whole married man, but he was bringing his girlfriends to visit us. So, like, this is before we met our stepmom too. So we didn't even know who our stepmom was. And like, he would be bringing these women to our house with him and stuff like that. I don't know why he would be stupid enough to do that. I mean, that's just stupid because, my mom was petty as fuck. And so my mom would say, that ain't none of your stepmother. And so my dad, because of who he was and what he liked to do, he could not. Well, this is what happened. When we were 13, me and my brother Thomas, that we share a dad, we went to Cleveland to visit my dad and his family, which is my stepmom, stepbrother. I have a stepbrother, I got a stepsister, and I love them. So, but I remember us being in a car. He had a rust color Eldorado. Like, my daddy drove good. And we were all in the car, and my little brother he said, that's not who you brought to our house. That's not my stepmother. My little brother was never invited back for the summer. No, we were not. I never went back for the summer either because he almost busted my dad out. So my dad had to keep us somewhat separated from my step family, you know, until we got to be adults. And, he literally let me go into foster care. And so I got emancipated at 16, and through the course of events, blah blah blah, went to college, blah blah, came back pregnant. So, and that is when I began to build some type of relationship with my father. But we built in a relationship on lies because I got a whole childhood full of memories of you other women. And they didn't stop in childhood because they went on until my daughter was born. that he would use us as an excuse to cheat on his wife. And so I ended up growing up like that, being separated from my family, and I don't know who my family is. I've never really spent any significant time with anybody but my two cousins from my Uncle JT that live in Toledo. Like, we're close. And so this year, I'm going to do what my dad didn't do. And I'm going to go find my family and spend time with my family. So I don't know if that was a story time or what, but it's a true story. It's me. So they say, "Oh yeah, my dad. Your dad was a good. Yeah, my dad was a good guy. My dad was a hoe too. He was a good guy. He was a horrible father, but he was a good. Well, he was a good father to my stepbrother and my stepsister. You know, and I'm thankful for them. I love them, but he wasn't our father. We had a stepfather. That was our father. So, if you ask any one of us who our dad is, we will tell you our dad's name is Junior Lee Thomas. And so, and that's how it is. That's why you got to really be careful about who you have kids with, who you marry, you know, all that stuff. Don't marry for love. Don't marry for love. Don't marry for money. If somebody don't have a plan or a vision for you to follow, ladies, for you to get up under and build with, don't get married. You can build by yourself, and that's the same thing for a man. If you want to get with a woman that has no vision, no drive, and she just wants to you know, now you can't afford to just be a housewife unless you gonna plan to live a certain meagerly life, you know. So I'm talking about everyday people. Everyday people can't afford. They need two incomes. And so if you're a man doing everything, you're gonna work yourself to an early grave trying to do that. You know. And we're here as women as helpmeets to take the burden off of you. Now some men prefer their women at home. Nothing wrong with that. I know some women that were built to be at home. I got a best friend like that. But even though she's at home, I can tell you this, she's got like several businesses. She bakes, she sews, she creates, she does all other things to help build. But that mindset that I can just sit home and do nothing and let somebody else take care of everything is outdated. It's outdated. We moving into 2025. That's a damn lie. I said 2025. Gotta adjust. See, I'm saying we got to go through an adjustment. We moved into 2026, and it's just a new day. There's a lot of activity in the atmosphere around us, whether it be political, religious, business, economical, health. There's a lot of activity in the atmosphere. And I can feel a lot of things. And so you got to be quiet sometimes. One of my covenant sisters, I'm not gonna say her name. She'll probably watch this. She'll know. She called me the other day. We had a fun time on the phone, and then she asked me a question. She says, "What are you gonna do if we become a fascist nation?" It kind of caught me off guard because she did ask the question out of the blue. Now, y'all, please excuse my little lint things on my. I should have sent it to the laundry, and I tried to do it myself. So, um, when she said it out of the blue like that, I had to really think about what she was saying because I'm about to. I'm getting a little older, and I done forgot a whole lot of stuff. I had to go look at what the heck do you mean fascist nation? What? And I thought, I have been so disconnected from, I'm going to be honest with you. For most of my voting career, I have voted Republican. I literally have. I loved both Bushes. I I voted Republican uh, most of my adult voting career. I didn't vote Democrat until the second term of Clinton. And that's because the economy was doing very well under Clinton. But then morally, he was just bankrupt. So when Bush Jr. came up, I was back on the Republican train until Obama. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. You can say I could say, oh, I just voted for Obama because he was black. I can't tell you that I did that. I voted for Obama because he had good morals. He had a good wife. He had his children under control. You know, they were very respectful. And if anybody know, Obama got major swag. So, and he presented himself well as a world leader. And I felt he made us feel comfortable and safe. And that's very important. I voted for Obama for that reason. But I do understand the repercussions of Obama being president because of racism and all of that systematic shit has swung the other way, and that's how we got Trump. The white supremacists put Trump in his position because we had a black president. Now, once Trump became president, I disconnected from politics, period. And I told myself I'll never watch one of his speeches, and I never have. I've seen clips on TikTok and Facebook, but I've never sat and watched that man talk one time. And the longer he's in office, the more disconnected I become from it because the office, the position of president is no longer sacred. It's no longer sacred. It's tainted now. So let him go ahead and destroy everything. That's how I feel. Because there's a generation coming up that this white supremacy shit is not going to be supported. It's not. That's why they're trying to get all these young men like Charlie Kirk and get them indoctrinated into it and get them screaming and screaming because that's witchcraft. They're putting spells on people. And so, but these young people are not buying that. Now, what would I do under a fascist if we became a fascist nation? I wouldn't do a damn thing. Let me just tell you this. I'm American. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm American, period. And the blood of my ancestors scream out from this land. My ancestors built this motherfucker. You understand that? I'm not going nowhere. You can't tell me I'm nothing because you can't do nothing without me. So no, I'm not. We're as far as we're concerned, we've been under a fascist motherfucking nation. We've been in it. Y'all getting in it. We've been in it as black people. What's gonna be done different for us? Nothing. We got to do it ourselves. That's why I shifted my family, and I'm calling them higher by calling them the empire. We don't care about your politics. We don't, I'm sorry. I know there are people in the empire that I have to say, I understand why you're disillusioned with politics and the whole system, and you think it doesn't work. Even if you are, just vote. Vote. And give it a chance. Now, I have something in me where I can't let an election go by and I don't vote because my mom used to drag me to vote. No, my mom did. Well, yeah, my foster mom. When I was, she put that in us. Like, people died for you to have the right to vote. And for you not to vote is like a slap in your ancestors' face. You know, I want to stay good with my ancestors. I'm gonna stay good, so I vote. But all that other political arena stuff, I don't do. I'm not connected to. I don't listen to it. I'm a spiritual leader, and I don't need any of that stuff in my spirit. I don't need any of it in my spirit. It's ridiculous. It's a reality show. You put a reality person, a reality show star, in office, and that's what you're gonna get. That's how I feel about it. But the question, what would I do under a fascist nation, is a good question. Is a legitimate question. The way things look right now. But don't be deceived by what you see. Don't be deceived by what you see. There are matriarchs and patriarchs that are rising up, and they're rising up in families. And the way you use the same techniques that they use, get the young people involved. You grab the young people. Everything I'm doing right now is to show my young people what to do, how to do. Like I'm teaching my daughter who has PTSD and traumatic brain injury and has, different things that she has to battle. I'm teaching her how to ground herself and what makes her ground, because she has so many things that come at her, facing her limitations and things like that as a young woman, that it can become overwhelming for her. And so I have to teach her how to ground. Now somebody say you should teach her how to pray. Praying ain't finna do shit for her. I believe me, I didn't get healed praying. I didn't. First of all, who I'm praying to. Who I'm praying to. God's in me. When I say I don't pray anymore, I don't. Oh my God, prayer used to be a fucking job when I was in church. It was a job. You see people, they get a lot of money to pray, not understanding what they're doing. You're not praying, you're conjuring. You're conjuring. You call them familiar spirits, I call them ancestors. You're conjuring. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. You're conjuring. So, I don't pray. I just speak. I release the word. It's just me this morning. Just me. I'm up early. I got some stuff I want to do, but we got snow coming in. I do not want to be out in it, and it's cold and windy, but I don't have a choice because I can't get done what I want to get done if I don't get out of here. First of all, they restricted me from being able to pay my DTE online. And so I'm so used to all my bills being paid online that I done forgot to pay my DTE. And they make you pay with cash, and I don't carry cash, so I have to like go to the bank and get cash, and then find a kiosk where I can go pay my DTE. And then I got to contact DTE and wrestle with them after I pay my bill, of course, about giving me access back online. Because this is messing me up. It's not that I don't have the money. It's just I'm not used to paying bills anymore. I do everything online. And so something happened where I lost my card and I had to get it replaced. So I forgot to go in there and change my payment information, and when they went to get my payment out, they couldn't get it. And of course, I wasn't paying any attention. I didn't find out till 2 weeks later when I got a shut off notice. And I'm like, what? And so that was a couple months ago. And still, they won't let me pay it online. I still got to get out. And I don't want it to be more than a week. So I'm out of here today at some point to go pay it. And I didn't took my braids out. You can see that. So I need to go get some good conditioner and a hair mask. And I literally go to the shop, get my hair washed because I want that deep stuff. But I'm not gonna do it today because it's too cold. So I'll just stop by the beauty supply and grab my own stuff, and I'm gonna have to do it myself. But how's everybody else this morning? I've had my bagel. I didn't have coffee this morning. I had hot tea because, it doesn't interrupt me like the coffee. I'm about to do laundry. I'm just throwing off all kinds of purple vibes. I hope y'all catching them. I hope y'all catching them. But anyway, Empire. I hope you enjoyed today. I'll see you again the next time for this Monday and this week. I speak peace over your week and tranquility. That the things that bothered you and irritated you last week will not bother you this week because you have an understanding of who you are in this situation that you're in. So go forth and rock this day. Rock this day. May everything you put your hands to do prosper. May you accomplish every goal you set for this day. I say,